In today's episode of the Pathwing Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with the co-founder and CEO of Arctic Leaf. I'm here with Josh Garellek, and he's sailing over to tell us a little bit more about Arctic Leaf, what it's all about, and how he's thinking about growth for the company. So welcome to the show.
Sorry, my bad. I was actually muted. So Lucas, thank you for having me. Super appreciative of it. So my name is Josh Garellek. I am the CEO and co-founder of Arctic Leaf. We're a 10 plus year digital agency with a focus on e-commerce store development. So everything from UX design, implementation, and all the way down through the retention funnel. So all retention marketing, email marketing, SMS, push notifications. We are a Shopify Plus partner, BigCommerce Elite partner, Klaviyo Master Elite partner, and house over 70 employees across 3 countries. We're fully remote, and we work generally with mid-market to enterprise brands. So brands doing about 10 million online and 50 million offline and up, and we look to scale and help them grow their business.
Very good, very succinct. Now, what types of businesses do you work mostly with? Like, what is a sort of a sweet spot customer?
Oh, we're an agnostic agency, so we work with almost every vertical. So we get all the fun ones too: CBD, THC, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. So we don't actually focus on one key vertical, and we actually feel that that's really one of our strong suits and value propositions, because we can take information and things that we've worked on in certain verticals and markets and be able to translate that and can try that in other verticals as well. So if I had to pick one, CPG and apparel would probably be the 2 of the strongest points that we work with a lot, just because of the subscription and the retention side, and making sure we're kind of like the consumable products work really, really well from a retention standpoint and conversion optimization standpoint.
Very cool. Now, tell us a bit about their journey. How do they learn about you guys? What are the channels that you guys leverage for growth?
Well, we're everywhere, so we spend a lot of money on advertising. So we're doing PPC, we're doing display, we're doing Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We're actually looking at Reddit right now. I've never done any advertising on Reddit. But what's interesting to me about that one is they have all these subreddits, and like there's literally like design and e-commerce and email and retention, and there's just some really interesting opportunities that we're going to explore with that as well. And then over the last year, we've been doing ABM, so account-based marketing. Unfortunately, we just haven't seen the ROI on the investment on it. So it is something that we're kind of pausing right now. We're going to be looking at some other opportunities. And then another another component is partner-led growth. So we do a lot of work with a lot of strong partners in the ecosystem: BigCommerce, Klaviyo, Shopify. And fun fact about us is we actually have a 90% close rate on deals or opportunities that are brought to us by a partner. So really, we're kind of turning the head and kind of creating the playbook on how to do co-selling. And then one step further is that I am working on more podcasting and bringing on some really amazing guests, and then feeding those individuals into our own partner ecosystem to drive revenue.
Maybe let's deep dive a bit into the partner system. Like maybe for people who are sort of, learning about it, when you say you partner with those platforms, like what does it actually look like? Does that mean you're listed somewhere on their assets? Is there like partner networks? Like maybe share a little bit about how that actually works.
Yeah, so we've been working with, we'll take BigCommerce as an example. We onboarded them 5 years ago or so, when they just launched their stencil framework. They were looking for individuals and agencies to come in and help support as an SI or a systems integrator and an agency partner. And so we started off pretty small. We got appointed a partner manager. We get listed on their partner directory. There's lots of different tools and systems out there that can run partner initiatives and partner PRM solutions. I actually own a PRM solution called partnerportal.io. So if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to. But then we do have, so we generally work with our partners pretty closely. We have Slack channels with them. We meet with them on a regular basis. We go out to networking events and partner events. We are engaged in their community. We provide product feedback. We're really in the weeds on kind of the product-led growth as well. So we're kind of giving feedback and ideas on where they should be taking their products based on what we're seeing in real time in the market. So for example, like BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store. That was never really a thing before COVID. And then all of a sudden that became like the hottest thing since sliced bread. So we do our On Tap series. So it's a webinar once every quarter. We pick a partner, we get really into the weeds on things. We go out to events. We connect with them, and then, you know, we bring opportunities to the platform as well. And it's a symbiotic relationship. We really try to support all of our merchants both ways. And I think the biggest thing there is transparency. We have a really good communication. If something goes wrong, we talk about it. We don't beat around the bush. We're very direct. We're very open. And we grew from just a standard partner all the way up to an elite partner by being able to drive revenue and build growth and bring value to our customers. And yeah, we're like basically on like first name basis with all our partners. We text all the time, ask how our kids are doing, you know, all that kind of fun stuff, send each other holiday gifts. So it's really it's relationship building, right? It's, you know, 92% of people buy products from individuals they are recommended from, right? So it's the same kind of philosophy and concept.
And, you know, maybe tell us a little bit about the perspective of the partners. Let's say BigCommerce, you know, like apart from the early days, like, but in, you know, their current state, like, why do they have those types of partners? Maybe for people who haven't a full grasp on that.
Yeah, so BigCommerce is a platform, so they're similar. Their competitor Shopify. BigCommerce does not do any kinds of implementations or design or implementations on their platforms. So what they do is they leverage agency partners like Arctic Leaf to come in and support a new brand that's either migrating from an existing platform to them, or they're a new brand that wants to get up and running and they need a strong UX partner that's going to help them optimize a buyer journey or personas. So that's where someone like Arctic Leaf comes in. Ultimately, we're helping BigCommerce's customers drive more revenue, which ultimately drives more revenue for BigCommerce, because as a customer scales up and drives more GMV, that makes more money for a partner like BigCommerce, right? So it really is a nice symbiotic relationship across the board, because we're all trying to help the end customer. That's the end of the day, right? Drive more value for the end customer. It's going to drive more revenue for your own business. It's going to drive more revenue for the platform. Everyone's happy, and we all, you know, have lots of smiles on our face at our events.
Very cool. Now, let's talk a little bit more about you know, how people finding you. What role does the website play? I mean, we talk, you guys, the stellar, you know, web assets. Like, what role does the website play for Arctic Leaf?
So it's we built our website on HubSpot, so everything's fully integrated on HubSpot. It ties into our automation flows, sequencing, workflows, everything. So we have probably hundreds of landing pages at this point that we've spun up for all different types of verticals that we've been going after, from an ABM strategy or display or influencers or on tap or whatever it is. So our website actually is quite important to our business, because that's where we drive most of our traffic to. And it's got a lot of information, it's got a lot of resources. One of the things we've done this past year is we've hired 3 to 4 marketing individuals, associates. So we're pumping content on a regular basis. We're talking about GA4, we're talking about, you know, BOPIS, we're talking about, you know, all the new things that are coming out, AI as a component, right? That's something we're taking a very strong look at and commenting on and creating content around it. So it's much more than just a lead gen. It's a learning center, it's our LMS, it's our content generator, and then it also drives obviously net new prospects that allows us to convert into a customer.
Very cool. Now, let's switch gears a little bit and talking a bit about the website a bit more in depth. Like, what do you consider sort of a strength of the website versus where do you see room for improvement?
Well, I know we're updating our navigation. Navigation right now is not ideal because it doesn't fully flesh out all of the different service offerings. Sorry about that. So it doesn't fully flesh out all of our different service offerings, and gives it's a less than ideal user experience to find what they're looking for. And we are fully aware of that. And so we do have an update coming. What we have gotten a lot of positivity about is our homepage is very clear about what we do. And the video image and video or GIF asset that we have there has been nicely created, and individuals have given us a lot of good feedback and comments and everything. I think the biggest thing is that everything is very clean. It's very simple, it's clean, it's very easy to understand. And when you hit our website, you know what we do, right? There's no guessing, right? So I think that's the biggest thing, is they recognize who we are, they can see our clients, they can see our portfolio, all our different service offerings. And then obviously we do know that we need to update our mega menu because it's lacking right now. So.
Very good. Cool. Appreciate that. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about sort of your journey, your daily work. Now, if we talk about a typical day, if that even exists, right, of Josh, like what would it be?
There's no typical day in my life. So, typical day. So I'm actually in the process of reworking my own framework. I've been following this entrepreneur a long time. His name is Dan Martell, launched a book called Buy Back Your Time. And I basically am working on adopting his philosophy, leveraging my assistant and really giving her access to my inbox and really kind of focusing on the areas that I am better at. Things like this, having conversations, networking, marketing, business development. I also run sales at the company. So I drive the sales vision, the direction, the services. So it really depends on the day, but my more focused agenda is going to be more high level strategy, looking at new business offerings and servicing, understanding our metrics and KPIs. So we've built out our own business intelligence dashboard so I can look into metrics and understand how the business is doing from a project level, resource level, merchant level, etc. So it's more about getting out of the day-to-day of the weeds of an individual projects and really enabling my directors to do that and really focusing on the next level, like how do I grow from X to Y or whatever it is, right? Or how do we get to a $50 million valuation of the business? That's where I'm putting a lot more emphasis on. But it every day is kind of different, right? It's partner initiatives, it's conversations, it's sales calls, it's internal escalation sometimes, right? Things happen. So it's never exactly the same, but it's always interesting. But my objective going in as of April 1st is kind of get off the hamster wheel and really kind of focus much more on the greater end goal of the business and how do I drive more sales and ultimately drive more profit.
Very good. Now I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
I hope so.
Very good. What's the last book that you read, actually?
Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell.
Very good. What's one single thing that your company is for? Oh, actually, if on that book, maybe people are getting interested. Is there one advice or one learning that you want to share from the book?
Leverage an assistant. Like you have the ability like to leverage resources and delegate things that you're not very good at or that doesn't light you up. And that's the biggest thing that I've been working on is like delegate things that don't suit your skill sets as well as they should, and then focus on what really lights you up and gets motivated and excited.
What's one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Systems. So we're working on more kind of what we're calling Arctic Base. It's our templating system and framework, so allows us to onboard customers and get them a store that's highly customized in a much faster timeline. So we're trying to simplify the onboarding process and really make sure that we're hitting the objectives, not just in a one large SOW, but more in a phase-based approach.
If there would be no boundaries in tech, what's the one thing you would fix for your role as a company or as a leader in the company?
Oh my God, if there was no boundaries?
Fix your role, right? To make your life easier, one thing you would do.
I would automate the entire sales process from start to finish.
And if you could snap your fingers and there's one task that you could give away, what's the one that you would happily, or which you probably already did with the assistant, but which would
reading legal contracts.
Mm-hmm.
We hate them. I can't stand them. Doesn't suit me right, but I got to do it, right? So
very good. Now, I want to do a bit of time travel, right? Because you've been with Archely for like 12, 13 years by now, right? Something along those lines. Now, going back all the way, what's the one advice you would give yourself if this would be your very first day starting to work on Arctic Thief?
Focus. As an entrepreneur, we love to dabble in lots of different things. So one of the things that we did when I merged my company in 2017 is we identified that we wanted to focus on e-commerce. And so we eliminated any service offering that didn't fit into that e-commerce wheelhouse. And I think that as an entrepreneur, we get excited by shiny new objects because that's how we're built, right? Try to stay the lane. Like it's this weird balance of saying yes, but also saying no. So learn how to say no more and focus more. That's what I would say.
Very good. Josh, I really appreciate you took the time with us today to be guest on Pathmark Presents. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about Arctic Leaf, what's the one thing people should remember?
We're an amazing design and development agency, and if you're looking to launch an e-commerce store, give us a shout.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmark Presents.
Perfect. Thanks, Luke.